All right, my third rate duelists, get ready because the moon is rising. Lunalight has finally come to Master Duel this week, and this deck is criminally underrated in the TCG. While everyone is sleeping on it and Lancia is quietly leaving side decks, Lunalight is quietly evolving into the sleeper pick of the format. The deck can summon one of the strongest tower-style boss monsters ever printed in Yu-Gi-Oh!, which is an unstoppable monster your opponent can't target, can't destroy, and pretty much has no answer to. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to pull off easy one-card combos and how to set up an unbreakable board that locks your opponent pretty much out of answers when you do summon the Lunalite Liger Dancer, one of the most powerful cards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! This deck is pretty much a tier 2 deck, but honestly, if your opponent is not ready for this card, this deck is easily a tier 0 deck because this card states must be fusion summon with the above fusion monsters, blah, 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 unaffected by card effects except Lunalite cards. And then can also make a second attack during each battle phase. Then once per turn quick effect, you can send one Lunalite monster from your extra deck to the graveyard, destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters. So it's a Raigeki for special summon monsters, and then it's unaffected by pretty much anything. And then when you have that in tandem with one of the other most powerful and toxic cards, number 41 Baguska, I don't know, it's really hard to out this deck. They're going to pretty much struggle to even out the Baguska. And then once they get rid of that, being able to get rid of your Liger Dancer, that's a whole nother case. And again, if they don't have an answer for it, they're pretty much SOL. Let me just show you how to get into one of the scariest M boards in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! So we're going to go ahead, we have 4 other blank cards in hand and just our Lunalite Gold Leo, which is one of the main reasons why the deck is so viable now. But we're going to go ahead and normal summon our Gold Leo. Gold Leo's then going to add us our Lunalite Yellow Martin from our deck to our hand. Then we can go ahead and discard Yellow Martin to the graveyard. Yellow Martin can then go ahead and trigger. That's going to go ahead and add us our Lunalite Masquerade from our deck to our hand. Then we can go ahead and activate our Lunalite Masquerade. Make sure you keep your pendulum zones safe, by the way. So we're going to go ahead and activate this. That's going to go ahead and send our Lunalite Silverhound from the deck to the graveyard. Silverhound then is going to go ahead and special summon our Lunalite Claddochick from our deck to our side of the field. And then for cost, our Lunalite Claddochick can then go ahead and send our Lunalite Black Sheep from the deck to the graveyard. Gold Leo can then get triggered, and then we're going to go ahead and add the Black Sheep back to our hand from the graveyard. Then we can go ahead and send our Black Sheep back to the graveyard, and that's going to go ahead and add us a polymerization from the deck to hand. Then we can go ahead and activate our polymerization utilizing both of these monsters. That's going to go ahead and go into our Lunalite Perfume Dancer. So she gets special summoned to our side of the field. Then we can go ahead and get Perfume's effect and also Claddochick's effect. So Claddochick can go ahead and add us our polymerization back to our hand from the graveyard. And then our Perfume Dancer is going to go ahead and add us our Lunalite Perfume from our deck to our hand. Then we can go ahead and activate our Lunalite Perfume, and that's going to get us back our Lunalite Claddochick back to our side of the field. And then once again, because Lunalite Claddochick is a soft once per turn, we can use its effect to now send a Lunalite Leo Dancer from our extra deck to the graveyard. Then we can go ahead and use our Yellow Martin in the graveyard, and that's going to go ahead and put our Masquerade back to our hand. And it's going to special summon itself from the graveyard. Then we can utilize both of these monsters, and that's going to go into our Brotherhood of the Fire Fist Tiger King, one of the old school classic cards. Tiger King was actually the first deck I ever played competitively when I was younger. So it's really cool to be able to use Tiger King once again. And then of course, Tiger King's going to go ahead and grab us our Fire Formation Tenki to our side of the field, which of course we're going to go ahead and activate. And Tenki's going to go ahead and add us our Lunalite Tiger from the deck to our hand. So we now have 7 cards in hand, by the way. Then we can go ahead and place our Lunalite Tiger in our Pendulum Zone. That's going to go ahead and special summon our Lunalite Tiger from the graveyard to our side of the field. Then we can go ahead and utilize our Perfume to put our Lunalite Tiger back to our hand. That way we can abuse its effect once again later in the combo. Then we can go ahead and link off both of these two and go into our Cross Sheep. Now we can re-put Lunalite Tiger once again in the Pendulum Zone. And then we can go ahead and special summon our Lunalite Gold Leo once again underneath the Cross Sheep. Cross Sheep then triggers and then can special summon our Claddochick from the graveyard. And you guessed it, we're going to go ahead and use its effect once again to put another Lunalite Leo Dancer from our extra deck to the graveyard. Then we can go ahead and use our Perfume in the graveyard because now we can go ahead and banish it from the graveyard. And that's going to go ahead and add a Lunalite Wolf from our deck to the hand. Then we can go ahead and utilize our Perfume Dancer and our Cross Sheep and go into our first boss monster, our SP Little Knight. Then we can go ahead and utilize these 2 bodies and go into our second boss monster, our number 41 Baguska. So we obviously put this in defense mode, by the way. So we got Baguska in defense mode. And then Lunalite Wolf's going to go ahead and banish. We can go ahead and banish our Perfume Dancer. We can do 2 of our Leo Dancers. We can just go ahead and do a Black Sheep. I'm not sure if it really matters what we banish, but you do want to keep the Silverhound in the graveyard, and I'll go into that later. Banish these 4 from the graveyard. And that's going to go into our big boss monster, our Lunalite Liger Dancer. So this is pretty much our end board. We have Bagooska, obviously negates everything, turns everything to defensive mode. Our Lunalite Liger Dancer is unaffected by any card that is not a Lunalite monster. So obviously Bagooska does not affect it. Our Link monster, Little Knight, is unaffected by it as well because it is unable to go to defensive mode. So we have a Raigeki, quick effect, destroys all special summon monsters. A card that pretty much stuns everything. We have SP Little Knight. We also have 6 cards in hand, by the way. 6 cards in hand. If we wanted to dig a little further, obviously we have follow-up too. 4 other blank cards in hand. We have a Silverhound in the graveyard, which is why you never want to banish Silverhound. And Yellow Martin, by the way. So we have follow-up with Yellow Martin in the graveyard and both of our Pendulum monsters. Wolf will be able to make us more fusion summon monsters on our next turn, possibly a second Liger to raid your opponent even further. And then Silverhound in the graveyard, which can also be used as a spell or trap negate that'll become live when Liger Dancer uses his effect on your opponent's turn to send another card to the graveyard. So we have a spell and trap negate with Silverhound that'll become live after we Raigeki your opponent's board. SP Little Knight banish. A stun card with Bagooska that pretty much stuns your opponent. They're gonna have to get rid of your Bagooska prior to even thinking about Liger Dancer if they even have an out for it. And again, a full hand of cards as well. So again, super busted combo. One of the strongest combos in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! I would say. And again, if your opponent does not have an answer for this card, it goes from a tier 2 deck to a tier 0 deck. So now I'm gonna quickly go over the main deck and the extra deck. Truth be told, this is the second time I am recording this video. The original time I did have 2 other combos. One combo showing off the Tenki line. And then IK Fractal line, and then another 2-card combo. The video, I guess, wasn't recording the entire time, so it was like 25 minutes plus of other combos. If you guys want to see me re-record that, if you want to see more Lunalite content, please leave a comment, let me know. I can get on that again. But for now, I'm just going to quickly go over the main deck. Again, this is the second time recording it, so I'm not really going to go over explanations. If you guys want to see in-depth card-by-card analysis, let me know as well. But we have 2 Silverhound, 2 Collateral Chick, 3 Gold Leo, 2 Black Sheep, 1 Emerald Wolf, Yellow Martin, Tiger, and then 1 copy of Fractal. In the combo, I basically show you how Fractal is a 1-card starter for the deck. So if you wanted to make this deck more budget, you can cut off 2 Gold Leos. It hurts to say, it hurts to even think about, obviously it's the best card in the deck. But to save $20+, you can buy a 25-cent, 2 more 25-cent copies of Fractal. Fractal pretty much gets you into Gold Leo. It is a 1-card starter. Plus, we also have 3 more copies of Fractal with Tenki. aka 3 more copies of any of your Beast Warrior cards, actually, with Tenki. But yeah, 1-card starter. If you wanted, you could save $25 if you just wanted to play the deck for fun or with friends, and add 2 more copies of Fractal. That's pretty much it for the monsters. And then we have 3 copies of Tenki, 2 copies of Foolish Burial Goods. You could also add another copy of that. A lot of these starter cards, Lunalight Fusion, 2 Perfume, 3 Masquerade, 1 Poly, Called By, and 3 Book of Eclipse for the spell cards. You can also be running the trap card in here as well. No heavy poly in the main deck. It's a very expensive card, plus it's honestly not really needed. It's a hard break going first, super powerful going second, but even going second can sometimes be negated as well. But obviously you can be running 1 copy and plus 3 Triple Tactics Thrust in the side deck if you wanted to save money as well. But I do feel it is a great side deck card for sure. Then for the hand traps, we're running 3 Nib, 3 Droll, 3 Ash, so nine hand traps. Obviously, if you wanted, I think Fualos is going to become a budget alternative after the 5DS structure decks come out next week. So you could replace either Nib or Droll with Fualos if you want, just to add more power. Or if you have Forbidden Drop, that's another great card, going second card you could add to the deck. Then going over the extra deck, we have 3 copies of Liger Dancer, 3 copies of Leo Dancer, only 2 copies of Perfume Dancer. I did have 3, thinking of putting a 3rd one back in here, honestly. Lunalite Panther Dancer, SP Little Knight, Cross Sheep, Almirage, Dugaris, Tiger King, and Bagooska. So I feel like, let's see, this is cuttable, this is cuttable, and this is cuttable if you want to mess around with the ratios. There's also Lunalite Saber Dancer you could be messing around with if you wanted to add more Lunalite cards. Or yeah, there's so many rank 4s you could also switch if you didn't want Dugaris. But that's pretty much it for the extra deck. Again, if you guys want to see more Lunalite content, let me know. If you want to see more combos, please leave a comment. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. But I think that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.